Treylon Burks be returning soon? Well, that's the talk of today's show. You're watching Titans Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Jay Sanders, and we got a lot to get to on today's show with Treylon Burks having a potential to come back and play for the Titans, plus a bunch of injury news. We're going to talk with Will Levis getting an injury designation, along with a couple other players that were seen at practice or maybe seen not at practice. So we're going to talk about all that, plus Tennessee signs back a defensive tackle that they cut previously in the season. We're going to talk about that all in today's show. But before we get into that, I want to challenge you here at Titans fans, because I got to be honest, the bosses here at Chat Sports, they've been saying, I just don't think Titans fans are capable of getting 200 likes. They just don't do it that often. So I had your back. I said, no. We're going to get 200 likes on the next video. So let's try and do that right here. Spam that like button. We're going for 200 on today's video and prove the bosses wrong. Let's get right into it here with the latest on Treylon Burks. So if you are kind of new to the channel, new to the Titans, don't really know what's going on, well, here is the full update on him. So he got injured in Thursday Night Football against the Steelers with a concussion. It was a pretty scary injury, actually had to be carted off the field, had to have a neurosurgeon come in and check on him. He then has missed practice for the past 3 weeks with a concussion, which when you're missing 3 weeks for a concussion, not exactly the good thing. Now, he did rejoin today's practice for the first time, and I will say that we did see him at practice have one of those neuro bands around his neck that you see players. Basically, what that does is provide more blood flow to the brain, which allows the brain to expand, and then your brain will not bounce around as much because there's not as much room, it's filled with blood. We did get the report from Jim Wyatt as he was officially back on the practice field, saying that it was the first time since his concussion on November 2nd. We're almost to December here, guys. That is a long time to be out for a concussion. Now, I do want to talk about Treylon just besides his injury, but more or less just his potential here with the Titans, because he was a first-round pick just 2 years ago out of Arkansas, actually the 18th overall pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, and we haven't really seen him a lot and haven't seen potential from him. At the same time, like I said, we haven't seen him enough. There has been injury problems this year. Last year was kind of up and down, and given he was a rookie, it was kind of expected. But I have to kind of wonder what exactly is going on with Burks, because he hasn't really shown anything yet. There hasn't been like a flash here or a flash there. It's just been kind of silent throughout his entire career. Just little, maybe good games here, a tiny good route there. Overall, he seems like he has something, but the stats just don't really back it up. 41 receptions for less than 600 yards. And the big thing, you've played 16 games as a first-round pick, and you only have one touchdown. Now, part of me wants to chalk that up to the team because it really just hasn't been good the past 2 years. But at the same time, if you're a first-round pick, and not to crap on Ryan Tell, but I will say he doesn't really know how to throw to the open receiver all the time. But with Will Levis now and just kind of developing that relationship, I'm hoping these two can kind of get along, because I think these could be future guys here on this Titans roster. People were really excited about Treylon Burks when he first came in, and now it seems like that excitement has kind of diminished. I do have to ask the question, though. I've kind of answered it in terms of what I think of if he still has potential or not, but do you still believe in Treylon Burks? Is it somebody that you're willing to kind of keep putting out there, keep testing, and keep allowing to really just try and find his footing in the National Football League? If you are okay with him and want him to still have a chance, well, then type Y for yes. If you don't believe with him, if you're done, if you've seen enough, if you're saying, I just don't think that it's possible for him to recover from his injuries, his slow start, and all that, then I want you to type in for no. Okay, we also have other injury news here on the Titans today, because we have a bunch of just really kind of interesting topics with certain guys being put on an injury report, like Will Levis, that we didn't exactly expect, as they had their first practice today of NFL Week 13. So we're going to tell you all about that, but they do have a home game coming up against the Colts, and if you want to go to that game, make sure you use today's sponsor, Game Time, to get your tickets. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. You shouldn't have to worry about buying tickets to your next big event, and Game Time is going to give you the peace of mind with buying tickets with their best price guarantee. Now, Game Time has stuff like last-minute ticket deals, flash deals, and zone deals where you pick the section, and then Game Time is going to pick the seats to get you an average of 18% of savings. Now, who doesn't like saving money on tickets? Game Time has a ton of different app features, including being able to see the seat before you buy it and getting a 360 view. You can see right here the Colts versus Titans. If you want to grab a ticket, go to Game Time, and you can get $20 off your first purchase too with our code TitansChat. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets today with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code TitansChat for $20 off your first purchase. $20 off. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code TITANSCHAT, TitansChat, no spaces, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets at the lowest price guaranteed. I talked about the injury reports. Here is what we got. Teron Davenport kind of getting this, basically a summary list of what to expect and what we've seen today. So first of all, we saw Treylon Burks. He had a concussion. He returned to practice today. Terrell Edmund's shoulder. He practiced today after missing the Panthers game. And then also Luke Gifford was not seen. He had a shin injury. He did actually play this past Sunday. But the thing with Gifford, it's just kind of been an on and off injury. He didn't travel to London with the team to play in the Ravens game. It wasn't like we saw him too much. Now, again, I want to say that it's kind of an interesting thing. He's a little bit of an, I'm not going to say older guy, but one of those where maybe he doesn't have to practice every day to play. In fact, this past week, he actually managed to play after missing practice on Friday. So I don't want to be sitting here saying, oh, he missed practice on the first day, he's not going to play this week. No, that's not exactly what's going to happen. Given he's already, that was the last day of practice last week, and yet he still found a way to find the way onto the field on Sunday. So there is potential for him there. The big one, though, that I know you probably clicked on this video to see, Will Levis. He was actually on the injury report with an ankle injury and was seen limping around during practice reps on Wednesday. This was kind of surprising. We didn't see him get hurt in the Panthers game. There was no talk about it. And Mike Vrabel and Will Levis, who was on the podium today, mentioned nothing about this injury, but the injury report listed him as a limited participant. I don't like this at all. I want Will Levis to be healthy. And honestly, as a rookie quarterback, you need every rep possible in your young career to help kind of grow your game and feel comfortable out there. And given, I think at this point, it's pretty obvious the Titans want to stick with Levis for the long haul, well, I want to see him healthy. I want to see him out there, and I don't want to waste reps on Ryan Tannehill. I don't want to waste reps on Malik Willis. I want to see Levis out there doing what he does best, slinging the rock. Hopefully, we will get to see that Sunday. Given he was a limited participant and it's the first day of practice and he still played, I'm feeling pretty confident we'll see him out there on Sunday. Okay, the third thing we're going to talk about on today's show is that the Titans have actually re-signed defensive lineman Jalil Johnson back to the team's 53-man roster. Now, if you have a question about why we re-signed him, that's rightful because, well, let's just say after Jalil got cut about a week and a half ago, he had some interesting tweets. Now, I will warn you, one of these is pretty interesting to say the least, but he said this after his cut and saying, going from a team like that to a 9-1 team has got to be the greatest feeling in the world. That being, of course, talking about Kevin Byard, who got traded from the Titans to the Eagles. Well, he also then said a little bit more of a, let's say, interesting word, a little more flavorful in the tweet. They are so worried about trying to fix the defense that we're not even the problem. Effing put the tape on and watch. Now, this was not good, but I will say that Vrabel took it with a absolute nail on the head, and he addressed this in his press conference. He went out and kind of was asked, hey, you signed him back today. We all saw the tweets. We all know what he said. What was the discussion behind this? Vrabel said this. We had a conversation, and I would say that's out of character for Jalil. I've enjoyed the time that he was here, getting to know him through the offseason and camp and his professionalism, and obviously he was frustrated. I think we all at times get frustrated, and that's how we choose to let that emotion out. Probably not the way that we would have recommended it, and he knows that, but again, we all get frustrated at times, and I don't think anybody is immune to that. So I know who Jalil is, and I'm comfortable that he'll give us everything he has. So Jalil has played 80 games in his career. He has 137 tackles. The sacks haven't exactly been there, but overall, he is kind of what I would call a defensive presence. I'm not going to say he's going to go out there and play every rep, but he's a guy that almost is going to be able to give Jeffrey Simmons a breather. Danico Autry, who has been playing spectacular, a breather. You don't really want to put them out there and continue risking their health. And honestly, Jalil, he's been kind of nice through a couple of teams. Played for the Texans, played for the Titans. He's kind of been a travel man early on in his career. I don't mind him signing back. Obviously, given Brable was talking about his character in today's press conference and said that, that was out of character. He doesn't usually do that. He was just frustrated. I think we can maybe pass by this. But as a Titans fan, are you okay with it? I don't know if I would really like somebody who really just trash-talked my team after we cut him to come back. That makes no sense. Why would we have that? Now, obviously, I've kind of presented that Vrabel's okay with it, so there's part of me that thinks that maybe it's okay. But at the same time, I do have to wonder, why exactly was that needed? Like, if he was so professional, why would he have to go out and say that? Why would he have to go out and tweet that? There was no reason. Where was that professionalism then, Jalil? Either way, he's back on the team, and either way, that's all we got for today's show. We appreciate you watching, as always, here on Titans Today. Make sure you tighten up. We're going to have more videos coming up in the couple of coming days before the Titans take on the Colts this upcoming Sunday. Peace out, Titans fans.